Greetings! This is another Sprocket video and oh wow, would you look at that? The face cam has returned. So in the previous video I was testing the waters and not a single soul complained about this new feature, so if you don't like it, now is the best time to do so and insult my non-existent artistic skills at pixel art or any form of art for that matter. Anyway, so I'm now going to show you my latest creations. So today I'm going to show you two tanks technically, although one of them, the tank destroyer, does have three variants, one not even being a tank destroyer. Wait until you see it. So yeah, and also this video could have been titled to be just another my tanks from Scrap Mechanic in Sprocket or whatever the series is called on my channel, because technically both of these tanks are originating from Scrap Mechanic. And also I could also name my video my improved old designs or whatever, because that would be also correct. I have built these tanks previously in Sprocket as well, so I'm just going to name my video my newest creations and problem solved. And the first newest creation is this, the AGS 106-5, so AGS Tank Destroyer Design 5. Now, this thing is rather ugly. It's basically a huge brick, and I love that about it. I love bricks. Yeah, you can throw them at the heads of your enemies. And with this brick right here, you can destroy the bunkers of your enemies because it has a 205mm howitzer. It's rather effective at destroying bunkers, although with 336mm of penetration, is also rather successful at destroying tanks. However, with the destroying tanks part, you might run into some issues with the current version because there's no real combat. I mean, you can shoot at these copies of yourself. You can hurt them, but I mean, the damage model is, well, let's just say unfinished, because you can hit the enemy dead center, hit theoretically all of the components, and the enemy would still survive because spawning apparently is a luxury. So yes, it's a tank destroyer that is actually a bunker destroyer that can destroy neither, because combat is not a thing in this version. So yes, let's just wait another day, another 2 weeks before combat comes into the game, or 2 months, or 2 more years, whenever it comes out. However, it is a bunker destroyer first and foremost. However, there's a version which is a proper tank destroyer, which would look something along the lines of this. This is a 155mm L60 with just about the same penetration. 5mm is not that significant of a difference, and yeah, overall it's just the same tank. It pretty much weighs the same. However, with the just about same-ish penetration comes with a far quicker reload time, which makes it a far more effective tank destroyer. And another detail you might have probably picked up on, you see decorative things that were present on a different tank of mine, and as you know, parts saving is not yet a feature, so how did I achieve this? Let's take a look at the star of the previous Sprocket video, the 106-13. So what I did was select these things that I wanted to use for other purposes than using them on this tank, drag them off, select the whole hull of the tank, delete it all, and basically start from scratch. So yes, that's what I did. That's how I made the 106-5 tanks as well. So yes, there's no magic, there's no part saving. However, I played around the system a little bit and used my head for once. So yes, this is just the same as the previously seen 106-5. However, it has a longer gun and a shorter reload time. That's about it really. There's nothing much to talk about here. However, there's a lot to talk about with the next variant of the 106-5, which, as I have stated previously, is not even a tank destroyer. It's actually an artillery version, which is quite a lot larger in dimensions than the previously seen versions, and has a rather large gun, a 205mm L50. It has 400mm of penetration, so by any measures this is the largest gun I have put on any of my tanks. And yes, this thing looks stupid. That was kinda the intention. And that's a bit of a problem I have with how the models are calculated in this game. So as you can see, there's an arc here. This arc is for loading shells. This is the size of a shell. However, if I have the full 45 degrees of elevation this tank was intended to have, you can see that the shells are colliding with the drive shaft, which is not something I should worry about, because there's no way I would load shells at such a degree. So I think it would be a good feature to basically limit how I can load my shells. So a limited shell loading hitbox would be appreciated to avoid such situations that wouldn't happen in real life. So yeah, let's return this number to 23, I think it was, yes. So yeah, theoretically it is capable of achieving 45 degrees of elevation. However, with game mechanics counted into the equation, yeah, it's just 23, unfortunately. Now, let's take a closer look, because there's some interesting things going on around here. So, here is the driver. It's a stupid spot, I know, that was the intention, shut up. And here is the commander, who can't see forward except if he uses the optics in the cupola. And the cupola has an optic looking backwards, which is obviously a design oversight. So yes. Also, this thing's supposed to have a crane inside it to lift these huge shells, and these are supposed to be the railings for it. I obviously was too lazy to model the crane itself, however, the intentions were there. Also, as in all of my recent tanks, there are openable doors everywhere, really. So there's nothing really much to talk about here. It's just a big boxy tank destroyer based artillery with a rather large gun, and it looks stupid. Now, you might have noticed something. A gun I modeled. So this is a cupola mounted 13mm heavy machine gun, and as I said it just about now, I modeled it, and I'm very proud of it because it's basically the first very small caliber gun I have ever made. And I have another version of it, and it's actually here a part of the cupola. However, here it's just mounted on a separate thing. There is no part cloning. If I clone the cupola and modify something on the clone, that action will be repeated on the first cupola, because for some reason whenever I copy an object it copies the ID of it as well, I think, and that's how the original one and the copy are in sync or whatever. So I had to remake this one from scratch, because after I was done with this one I realized I might want to use it somewhere else as well. So yeah, that was an oversight on my side, but it's fine. So yes, this is the 10706-5, and it's quite chunky, it's big, it's huge, it's gigantic, and it has a big gun that does a big boom and does no damage because, as I said earlier, spalling is a luxury. However, it's quite agile for something that, I mean, look at it. You wouldn't expect anything from this. So yes, but alright, so I found that this will be the best tank in this video until I made the next one. So this next thing is the most detailed thing I have ever created, and I do not intend to repeat this process ever again, because it took me quite a long time to make, and honestly it might or might not have been worth it, although the end result speaks for itself. So say hello to the AGS 104-5. Now, this is how the previous version looked in the previous game version. It's not even that old, but I mean, look at the newest iteration of it. You just simply cannot compare the two. I have done so many things for the first time. I have seen that on the Sprocket Discord server that someone did this with the fenders, and I thought it was kinda cool. I have seen people making custom tools, so I tried making custom tools for myself for the first time as well. So yes, here is a custom HGS shovel. I also made a tank jack for the first time. It's the same as a car jack, except it's tank sized and is modeled after German ones, although it's only loosely based on them. So yes. So overall, this thing is impressive on so many levels, except perhaps performance, because I mean, it's 28 tons heavy. It only has 80mm of frontal armor, 35 on the sides, and it's not even worth mentioning the rear. The turret is 50 plus 50 plus 80 on the front, 50 on the side and rear. So it's not exactly the most armored tank, and it only has 310 horsepower engine. However, this thing is packed with features. The guns return, however, they have increased in numbers. You can obviously see that. But another thing, I used the decal for them to make them black, like real guns. Although they are gunmetal grey, but whatever. You get the intentions. So there are hatches everywhere that can open up, like this one right here. There are hatches on the engine deck as well, although the turret is in the way. There's a travel lock too, because why not? And the engine deck has a funky feature. You can select this plate and move it out of the way, this as well, and move it out of the way. So basically you unbolt the roof of this and you can see the engine. And a spare part, a spare muzzle brake, because I guess this is not enough. I actually forgot I put it here, so let's cover it up. Oops. So yes, this is a very nice looking medium tank overall. It has a lot of features, a lot of details I put into it. Hell, look at these leaf springs. Alright, now let's move on. So yes, this is a really nice medium tank overall, aesthetics wise, in my honest opinion. And you know what, I'm proud of it. Would I make something this detailed ever again? Never. Although who knows what the future holds. But overall, yeah, it's just a tank. It looks like a tank. What can I say? It has some pretty questionable features like this ladder, which, I mean, why would you even use it? You can just climb upon the tank using the suspension itself. There's this 13mm heavy machine gun looking backwards because, I don't know, you might want to clear the engine deck, or you overextend and you want to clear your rear or something, I don't know. The two coaxial machine guns, that's actually a really funny story. So they wouldn't fit normally, so I had to tilt them sideways by 90 degrees. It's so stupid, but it works. What can I say? Günther engineering. Yeah, the 75mm gun is okay. I would say it's overall a decent-ish tank, except for the mobility that area lacks. So yes, I ran out of things to say about it. Tank. So yes, this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, hit the dislike button. If not, hit the dislike button. If you want to, you can unsubscribe and tell me in the comments what you thought of this medium tank and the other 3 tank destroyer slash artillery tanks. So yeah, thanks for paying attention. Bye.